Hello everyone. So in this video, we're going to learn the phylum Platyhelminthes, and they are generally known as the flatworms. Okay, so members of this phylum are commonly known as the flatworms. Why? Because their body are flattened from top to bottom. Okay, they're very flat based on the architect, how they look like makes scientists to call them flatworm because of their structure and the behavior. Okay, so they're flattened from the top to bottom, and we have different species that fall into this phylum. All right. So some flatworms are free living. So it's very important to understand this term in biology. That most teachers and people set exam questions, they love using this term free living. So you need to understand what free living means and what parasitic means. It's very important in biology. So some of them are free living, while some of them are parasitic. Okay, and those are parasites are called parasite because why they live inside the body of human and other animals. Okay, so just for you to understand what free living means, so a free living organism is an organism that lives independently. They live independently. They don't stay inside the organism. They don't depend on an organism or a host for food. So what they do is that they obtain their own food and live without or inside other organisms. So they don't depend on other organisms for survival. So they live on their own. That's what I called what free living or independent organisms. But those that stay inside the host and suck nutrient from the host, or for example, there's some species that stay inside the digestive tract of the host, they are called the parasites. So why those species that they don't depend on the host, but they can obtain their own food through another means, they are called what free living organisms. So just to recap, flatworms, they're either free living or parasitic. Okay, so just to give you a kind of more distinction between what free living organism means and parasitic. So I just have to create this table. So this is free living organisms and this is parasitic organisms. So for free living, they live independently, while parasitic, they live on or inside the host. Free living, they obtain their own food, while parasitic, they obtain food from the host. So free living, they do not harm another organism to survive. While parasitic, they may harm the host. In most cases, they harm the host. Trust me. So example earthworm. So earthworm is not a member of platyhelminths. It's just example of free living organisms. So don't confuse it as a member of platyhelminths. But a tapeworm is a very good example of platyhelminths, and the tapeworm is parasitic. Okay. So based on classification, so the kingdom is Animalia, then the phylum Platyhelminthes, okay, and the common names is the flatworms. So it's very important to understand classification when it comes to different species of organisms. All right. So now let's talk about the habitat. So habitat of flatworm can be found in different habitat. Now, like I told you, I always mention this. When you see habitat, it's just you can you can use different range of habitat to classify organisms. So for a flatworms, now for the free living species, they can be found in fresh water, they can be found in marine water, and they can be found in moist soil. The soil is moist. You know, most of the time when the soil is moist, you have a lot of water in the soil. You can find some worms. Worms love soils. Okay. So this free living species can be found in this habitat I've been mentioned here. So for the next one, which is the parasitic species, you can find them in human intestine. Because the parasite, like I told you, that the animal they found inside the organism or outside the organisms. All right. So most of them are found in the human intestine. So when you eat a food, they derive nutrients from you. That sometimes you may eat and you are eating good meal, but you are losing weight. You may eat a food and start feeling hunger because of this type of species which is found in the intestine to bring about this type of parasitic relationship. So some of them are found in the liver of mammals, while some of them are found in the blood vessels of humans. All right. So these are the parasitic species. So a very good example of the platyhelminths, you have your Planaria, you have your tapeworm, you have a liver fluke, you have a blood fluke. Okay. So just to show you a kind of a pictorial presentation of how they look like. So this is one of them. and this is one of them. You can see this one has a sucker. Okay, all right. Then this is one of them, and this is one of them. Okay, all right. So now I want us to discuss about each of them based on the types. So the type of flatworms, Planaria. So this is a picture of Planaria. All right, and a Planaria is a type of flatworm that are free living. So when they ask you, okay, which member of Platyhelminthes are free living? Now we'll have one is what Planaria. And why are they free living? Because they're independent. They don't live on the host. They don't cause harm to the host. They just mind their own business and look for the food themselves without hurting any other organism. All right. And now they're found in fresh water. All right, and they're capable of regeneration. So if one part of the body become affected, for example, maybe become destroyed or whatsoever for any reasons, that part of that organism will tend to regenerate. So for example, if it's my finger, if I cut my finger like this, it can tend to regenerate and give rise to what a new set of fingers anymore. That's what regeneration is all about. But we human, if you cut this finger, trust me, it's not going to regenerate. Because we don't have this ability of what regeneration. The only thing our body can do is just repair worn out tissues. So it's different from what regeneration means. Okay. So the next one we have the tapeworm, and these tapeworms they're found in the intestine of the intestinal parasites. They're found in the intestines, and they live in humans, and also they're found in livestock. And what they do is they absorb digested food through its body surface. Very wicked worm, trust me. Wicked worm. So the next one we have the liver fluke. This one is also very wicked. Look at how it looks like. So they are parasites of sheep and cattle and humans, and they live in the liver and bile duct. So very dangerous parasite. Then the next one you have a blood fluke. Look at how it looks like, red. And this causes what we call schistomiasis, also known as bilharzia, and it lives in the blood vessels. So this schistomiasis is kind of like a disease that affects people who are contaminated by the larvae of these parasites. For example, these snails serve as a host. Okay, serve as a host. So these snails are found in fresh water. For example, can be in water, river, and stuff like that. So because these snails serve as a host, they release this larvae in the water. And when they release this larvae in the water, all those people who that comes there to fish, once the larvae gets to the skin, what happens? They get infected by this parasite, and they get a disease called what? Schistomiasis. All right, and this schistomiasis is caused by a parasite called schistosoma, also known as what? Your blood fluke. All right. So adaptation of parasites of flatworms. So we have different parasites. How did they actually adapt? So this information is very important because it's very important for us to know how they adapt. So we have the hooks. So these hooks, they possess hooks which help them to attach to the host, and they have suckers for firm attachment, and they have thick body coverings, also known as the teguments, which protect against digestive enzymes, and they have high level of egg production that ensures survival of offspring, and they have flat body. That's what they call flatworms, which causes what ease movement through host tissues. So this is just an adaptation of parasites and how they causes what harm to the host organisms. Okay, so general characteristics of platyhelminths, we cannot talk about a particular phylum without making reference to the general characteristics, so it's a must. So the first one, they are multicellular. So when you say multicellular, it means that body are made up of many specialized cells, and these cells come together to form different functions. So you can say this is a large amount of cells, and all these cells comes together to give rise to what? A particular function. So let's say multicellular means many, uni means one, multi means what? Many. Very important. So the next thing here, their bodies are those eventually flattened, very flattened, and they appear thin and flat, giving them the name flatworms. So very important. Okay. So the next one, they exhibit bilateral symmetry, which means the body is divided into equal halves. So these are equal halves. We call this what? Bilateral symmetry. Okay. So this is the half, this is the central half that makes it what? Bilateral symmetry. So it's very, very important to get a point. And they are triboblastic, meaning their body is developed into three germ layers. So the first layer is ectoderm, the second layer is mesoderm, while the inner layer, with the third layer, is the endoderm. So these are the picture that I just explain how this three germ looks like. So you can see the ectoderm, which is the outer covering of the body. You have your mesoderm, which is the middle layer, okay, which form the muscle tissues and body wall and other organs. Then you have your endoderm, which is what the inner layer, which lines of the gut and the digestive tract. Okay, so you can just go through this and get some insights. You can see the summary and all. See the uh the par- uh the parasites, and you can see the cross section of the flatworm and all that. All right, so this is planaria. This is not planaria, is not, is parasitic. It's not parasitic, it's free living. So this is one of the member of the platyhelminthes. Okay, so this is just the architect to show this the James layer, and to see how it looks like. Okay, so you can just go through it later and try to understand what it means properly. All right. So the next one here we need to know is that they are acylommates. They contain some organisms contain psyllium, but they are acylium because why they don't contain was solium. So what solium actually means is what? It's a fluid-filled body cavity located between the body wall and the alimentary canal. If you look at the earthworm has a kind of has is hydrostatic because their skeleton is hydrostatic. Why is it hydrostatic? If you hold your earthworm in your hand, if you press it against your hand, there's some liquid, there's a fluid that comes out of it. So this fluid-like body cavity is called osolium. So because the flat, they don't have this fluid-like body cavity. That's why they're called what acylommates. Just to get us straight. Okay, so they possess an incomplete digestive system. Most of them, most have just one opening, and this opening serve as both the mouth and the anus. Okay, so through the mouth they feed, and through the anus they remove waste, and you can see how disgusting that is. All right, so but there's an exception in tapeworm. Tapeworm have no digestive system because they absorb nutrients directly from the host. Okay, so the next one, they have no. All right, good. Okay, come back. So the next one, they have no circulatory or respiratory system. All right, and oxygen and nutrient move through the body by the process called what, diffusion. All right, so no special respiratory organs and no special circulatory organs. So all this takes place through what, a process called diffusion through the body surface. All right, so most parasitic species possess hooks and suckers. All right, and this helps them to attach firmly to their host and cause harm to the host. So you can see this is a sucker and this is a hook. All right, all right. So many are hermaphrodites. When you say hermaphrodite, it means they have both the male and the female organ. All right, they have both male and female organ, and they reproduce both sexually and asexually. An example, we have the sexual reproduction, and we also have what, regeneration, especially in Planaria. So regeneration is common in Planaria. All right. Then economic importance. So we're going to discuss about the beneficial aspect of this. Now, the first one is that Planaria are used in scientific research, and the ability to regenerate makes them valuable in biological research. I know probably you expect to hear that Planaria can be used for feeding. It contains protein, and you can put them in your food and eat it. No, they are good for scientific research. All right. Then the harmful importance: tapeworms cause, they cause infection, and symptoms include weight loss, abdominal pain, and malnutrition. Okay, and for the liver flukes, they damage the liver because they found that located in the liver, and they reduce the productivity of livestock. So they affect humans, they affect the liver of livestock also. All right. So blood flukes also cause what they call schistomiasis, like I explained, and this disease affects millions of people in the tropical region. They find in fresh water. So once you get access to the larvae and the larvae gets your skin, what happens? It tends to cause a disease called schistosomiasis. Yeah. All right. So just important information here you need to know. So prevention of flatworm disease. So All you need to do is to cook your meat thoroughly. You have to cook it thoroughly in case you have the larvae there, so the larvae can easily die due to excessive heat. Wash fruits and vegetables before eating. It's very important. The next one, you drink clean water. These days, you cannot actually tell how clean the water is. You can actually predict how clean it is. Maintain proper sanitation. Avoid swimming in contaminated fresh water. How can you know if fresh water is contaminated or not? The water can look very clean, but it can also be contaminated. So deworming domestic animals regularly. So you remove the deworm the domestic animals. You give them a kind of drugs that makes those worms to leave the system. Okay. All right. So let's go through some questions, some examination questions. So you say members of phylum Platyhelminthes are commonly known as what? So we all know that is what is a flatworm. All right. So the next question: which of the following is a free living organism? So we'll have all these members here are all platyhelminthes. So which of them is free living? So you can see Planaria, tapeworm, liver fluke, and blood fluke. They are all parasitic. They're not free living. Okay, so Planaria is a free living. All right, and disease caused by schistosoma is known as what? We have malaria, we have bezier, we have cholera, we have typhoid. So at this point, just pause the video, answer the question why I give you the feedback. So the answer is what? Behavior. Behavior. Yeah. All right. So now this is just a stress question. You're gonna take your time to answer this question. This is going to help you to give you clear understanding. So explain why flatworms are called platyhelminthes. Differentiate between planaria and tapeworm. State 5 adaptation of parasitic flatworms. Why is a tapeworm able to survive without a digestive system? Explain the importance of regeneration in planaria. Describe 3 ways of preventing disease caused by parasitic flatworms. Why are most parasites flatworms? Why are most parasitic flatworms hermaphrodites? Compare platyhelminthes with Cnidaria. We did Cnidaria the last time. You can go to the playlist under classification of living things. You see Cnidaria. Why are flatworms considered more advanced as Cnidarians? And explain how hooks and suckers contribute to the survival of flatworms. Okay, so it's very important for you to take your time to go through all these questions. All right, it's going to give you a clear overview, understanding of what all this is. Okay, so in the comment section, you have any question, just pop the question there for me. Okay, so I can give you my overview and give you my own views on whatever problems or whatever confusion you may have. Okay, so this is the end of this phylum. So in my next video, I'm still going to give you more example of phylums. So don't forget that we're still dealing on the animal kingdom. When we're done with the animal kingdom, we'll go to plant kingdom. We'll go to plants, go to kingdom plantae. Then we go to kingdom fungi. Then we are done with classification of living things. Follow my channel. If you enjoy today's lecture and to your lesson, just subscribe to my channel and share my videos so your friends, your classmates, and everybody can benefit from this. And trust me, I'm here to give you a quality lesson so that you can have this confidence to ace your exams. Okay, so thank you very much for watching the video to this point, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.